Alright guys, welcome back to another one. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Reynatis. There was a surprise demo that dropped after yesterday's Direct. This demo, however, is only for Nintendo Switch, even though the game is coming out for both Steam and PlayStation 4 and 5, and it's only available on the Japanese eShop. While we do have some Square Enix connections here, like Shimomura and Nojima, I've been a little bit skeptical about this game, just because it is coming from Furyu, who aren't exactly known for amazing video games, and quite clearly when you look at the trailer footage of this game, it's clear that it is kind of a low budget title. That's sort of what Furyu are known for. The game is coming from a relatively new and young director, Takumi Isobe, known for Trinity Trigger. He grew up playing both Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy, and his game Reynatis here is the game that he has wanted to create for a long time, inspired by those games he grew up playing. He even got the opportunity to actually sit down with Tetsuya Nomura to talk about his video game. So the demo here runs for about an hour. Now, obviously it's all in Japanese, so unfortunately I have no idea what's going on. I can't read any of the menus, but what we are going to be paying attention to here is the gameplay and combat system. I've been curious to know just how competent of an action RPG combat system Reynatis offers, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I actually walked away surprised and wanting to play more of this game. I'm actually more excited for Reynatis now that I've had a little taste test. Throughout the game, you'll play as two characters, Sare and Marin. Both of these guys have distinct different fighting styles. There's also a wide cast of different characters that are specific to each of the main characters that you're playing as that you can swap in and out of in combat. Those other additional characters all have their own unique fighting styles as well. Sari is part of the MEA, think Wizard Police. In this world, there are magic users. Not everyone is born with magic powers, however, and it's pretty much illegal to use your magic powers unless you're part of the MEA. Essentially, the general populace fear those with magic capabilities unless they are the MEA, as there are criminals out there that use their powers for evil deeds. So for Sari's story, you're basically fighting wizard crime and solving cases. Marin, however, is on the other side of the fence. He's not an MEA member, but he is a wizard. So exposing your wizard form while roaming the streets in Shibuya as Marin, the public will start to freak out. This gives you a set amount of time to basically escape the area before the MEA come in. And trust me, you don't want this to happen because they will hit 2000s on you. That's pretty much, though, the gist of what's kind of going on here in the sense of the narrative. Obviously, the paths of both Sari and Marin will eventually cross. Now, the actual combat system is quite interesting and for the most part feels kind of good. I wouldn't say it's incredible or to the standards of something like maybe Kingdom Hearts as an action RPG, but still it is definitely better than what I was expecting. You've got basic ground combos and you've also got aerial combos. All of your fighting will be while you're in your wizard form. You can switch between suppressed and wizard form by pressing the left bumper. However, using wizard form will consume MP, so this bar will basically deplete as you're attacking enemies and spending any time in this form. Whenever you're in suppressed form, which means you cannot attack, your MP will start to regenerate. The thing about suppressed form is you can slow down time and dodge. Pulling off this successfully will fill a large portion of your MP gauge. So the combat system is sort of going between both forms, managing your MP so that it can last to be able to attack the enemy and to be able to activate your abilities. When you want to go on the defensive, you switch back to suppress to then fill up your MP gauge and to avoid attacks, and pulling off dodges and the counters feels pretty damn good. You've got a hit counter, which the higher this is, the more damage you'll do with your X and A abilities. There were only two abilities to try out here in the demo, one that sends out a bunch of flying daggers and the other that flicks the enemy up into the air so that you can engage into an aerial combo. But these can be switched in and out, so I would say for the full version there'll be a range of different abilities you can use. The combat system is definitely fast paced though, like it feels closer to a hack and slash than it does a traditional action RPG. You've even got that classic Devil May Cry or Bayonetta combat grade for each combat encounter you engage in. Depending on how well you perform, like the time it takes to defeat all the enemies, the damage that you've received, highest combo performed, or magic abilities used, you'll be given a different grade. Depending on what grade you get, you'll receive more XP. So the game actively encourages you to get good, to be good. you know, you are a wizard, Harry. There's a bunch of different character stats and things that you can equip, but again, because this is a demo, it's quite limited, and on top of that, this is all in Japanese, so it's hard to get the ins and outs of the game. Visually speaking, this game isn't the prettiest to look at. Like, it definitely feels like a dated title. This isn't a bad thing though. I think the main components here are obviously both gameplay and story. If the game is engaging and the gameplay is fun, then the visuals don't really matter, but it's hard to ignore that, yeah, this game does definitely look like some kind of mix between a PS2, PS3 title. And the frame rate here is not good. Remember, this is the Nintendo Switch version, and there will be a PC and PlayStation version, so hopefully performance is better over there. I definitely expect 60 frames per second. There's absolutely no reason why 60 frames won't be a thing for PS4 and PS5. But yeah, the frame rate here on Switch was pretty bad, pretty all over the place. So that mixed in with the not so great looking visuals makes for at least the Switch experience here in the demo not that enjoyable. Like, don't get me wrong, it is fine, but the dips are certainly noticeable, and the stutters are incredibly annoying. The pre-rendered cutscenes actually look really good. These are the cutscenes that are not happening in-engine, but I think for basically all of the in-engine cutscenes that play, they don't look great. Like, character animations for at least cutscenes are very stiff, plasticky, and just awkward looking. Again, this comes back to Furyu's reputation of making pretty low budget titles, and it certainly again shows here in Reynatis. For me though, all of these issues that I do have with the game are not really a problem so long as the story is going to be interesting. From what we've seen so far, it kind of looks interesting. It's sort of like a fantasy Harry Potter anime type Tokyo, Japan take on people living in the real world with magical powers and how they fit into society. It's actually quite an interesting concept. Along with that too, I'm sort of satisfied with the combat system. And hey, we also know that The World Ends With You is also in this game, so that's definitely a plus as well. There's also side quests and stuff that you can do, which is nice, and as you complete these, the sort of like reputation bar doesn't increase, but it actually like decreases. I think that's maybe the hatred meter of the general public or something like that. But as that decreases, you'll be able to engage in these graffiti tags that are like all over the city. Once this gauge is below a certain percentage, you'll be able to do something with the graffiti tag. What, we don't know, because you can't do that here in the demo. It's also just really cool to see like all of the different very well-known brands and shops that you can literally find in Tokyo Shibuya here in Reynatis. It's genuinely insane how Furyu were able to get the licensing to all of these different brands. Like, it's crazy to see Burger King here in my video game, or Adidas. However, I went into this game with my expectations pretty low, as I have been skeptical from what I've seen so far, and I actually came out really surprised. I want nothing but the best for Takume Sobe. He's clearly pouring in so much heart and passion into this project, and it's something that he's wanted to create for an incredibly long time. The game is set to release next month in Japan on the 25th. The rest of us will have to wait until September 27th. If you are curious about this game, then definitely give the demo a try. It's as simple as creating a Japanese Nintendo account and going over to the Japanese e-store. However guys, that's all for today's video. Just wanted to keep you in the loop with what's going on with Reynatis. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up with everything that's going on here. Check out my other social media platforms. A big thank you to my wonderful patrons. I appreciate the support. I hope each and every one of you are having a fantastic day, and we'll talk real soon.